video, I want to share with you the 4 mindset shifts or mental models that I implemented that really took my business, my income, and my life to a whole nother level. And this is one of the really good things about journaling. When you journal, you write down what you've done, and then you can look back and you can see, well, I made a big shift from like this period. Let me go back and see what I was doing. And that's what I did. And I took notes and I really implemented 4 main key things. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. And just so you know, to give you a little bit of insight into the transition that I made by implementing these 4 things that I'll share with you. My business was doing kind of 20K per month. And within 6 months, I took it to about 140,000 US dollars each and every month, with really nice and high profit margins as well. And the first mindset shift or mental model, however you want to call it, was that I took full responsibility. I'd grown up, for some bizarre reason, and maybe you can resonate with this, I'd grown up thinking that, success was going to come and find me, that somebody was going to kind of pluck me out of a crowd and or somehow, some way, without me having to really force the situation, I would be successful. And as I say, I don't know why I thought that, but when I realized that that definitely wasn't true, I started to understand and realize that if I was going to make anything of myself, I had to take responsibility. It was not up to my parents, to my partner. It was all down to me. And I view the level of kind of happiness of my family and everybody around me my responsibility. And I take responsibility for literally as much as humanly possible. For pretty much everything in my life, but not definitely for everything in my life, I should say, but for my wife, my family, everything is my responsibility. And some people find that a little bit daunting. Personally, I find that quite liberating, because if something's your responsibility, it therefore means it's in your control. And when something is in your control, you have the power to impact the outcome. You have the power to change the outcome. And that's a very liberating thing. And so instead of being kind of maybe scared or nervous about taking full responsibility, view it from that frame that if I take responsibility, therefore I have the power to change the outcome. And that's a really kind of powerful thing. So that was the first mindset shift that I had, which was taking full responsibility. Now, the second one was all about designing my own life. I find in life, and this certainly happened to me, and again, maybe you can resonate with this, often life kind of happens to you. And that definitely was the case for me. I was going through life and I was very reactive, and sometimes things were good, sometimes they weren't. And what I found is I was living a life that if I was being really true to myself, probably wasn't the life that I wanted to live. And so I took a moment. I stopped doing what I was doing, and I zoomed out of my own life, and I mapped out what my life was. I wrote down how I spend my day, what do I do with my hours in my day. I wrote down where I am, physically in the world. I wrote down my health. I wrote down how much time I'm spending doing the things I want, how much time I'm spending working. And I looked at it and I thought, is this my ideal life? And the answer was no. And so I started to write down what my ideal life would be. How much money do I want to make? How hard do I want to work for that money? How many hours do I want to put in? Whereabouts in the world do I want to live? What do I want to do with my free time? All of these things, I wrote down this ideal life. And to be completely open and transparent, I am not living my ideal life, but I am, because I was very purposeful, I'm a lot closer to it than I once was. And as each day goes by, I'm trying to be more purposeful about living my ideal life. And when I actually just took a second to realize that, no, what I'm doing right now is not congruent to the things that I actually want to be doing, it gave me the permission to actually change. And I feel like sometimes that's what we all need. We all need this permission to say, I'm worthy of going for something else. I'm worthy of trying something else. Because although my current life is okay, it's actually not what it's not my dream life. And I'll talk about the fourth mindset shift that I have in a minute, and it kind of ties back to what I'm talking about now. So it was just ensuring that I actually took note of what my dream life looks like, and then tried to change my daily activities, tried to change everything, and work towards that dream life. So that was mindset shift number 2. And mindset shift or mental model number 3 is all about understanding your why. And what I mean by this is, like, why do we have these dreams, we have these aspirations, maybe we want more from life, we want to have more time, location, financial freedom, whatever it is, but why? Why do we want that? And when you get crystal clear as to why that you want it, it can make starting that journey a lot easier. It can fuel you. It can give you more. I don't want to use the word motivation, because I feel like motivation it is very fleeting, but it can give you a bigger drive, a bigger purpose. And when we have that deeper level of purpose, it allows us to get up in the morning with a bit more gusto, a bit more kind of spring in our step to, do those difficult things that allow us to, live our dream life that we've designed. And truly understanding why you do what you do, as opposed to the fact that, like, I run a business, for example, I want to make more money, but why do I want to make more money? Making more money for the sake of money is, at a certain point just becomes like irrelevant. But why do I want to do it? What do I want to do with that money? Who do I want to impact? Who do I want to help? And understanding that deeper level of why you're doing these things gives you that drive, gives you that purpose, and gives you that ability to think, actually, no, what I'm doing right now is not serving not only of myself, but it's not serving the people that I care about, and it's not helping me kind of live my life to the fullest. And when I understood that, I was able to give myself the permission to really accelerate my growth. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, this is why journaling is so great. And it's because you're able to actually look back and see what you were thinking about, what you were doing, what was going on in your head at these moments of growth. And if we understand what was happening, we can recreate them. But that's only possible if you actually note it down, because we're not good enough at remembering what we were thinking about 6, 12, 18 months ago. So the third mental shift, mental model that I kind of implemented was understanding my why. Now, the fourth is a little bit different. It's a little bit, some people might call it a little bit morbid, but it's thinking from your deathbed. So let me kind of explain what I mean by this. It is basically asking yourself the question, would I regret doing this or not doing this when I'm lying on my deathbed? Would I regret not starting that business, not pushing for that promotion, not, spending time doing X, Y, and Z, whatever it may be, but looking at life through the lens of your future self lying on your deathbed? Will there be regrets that you didn't, take that chance. You didn't, uncover that thing to see whether or not it's going to work out for you? Or did you stay in a place of scarcity, and you weren't thinking big enough, and you just kind of lived your life at a level that is lower than you could have lived it? And so when you think from your deathbed, it just gives you that extra, it's a little bit like a punch in the gut sometimes, where you're telling yourself, I know I'm capable of more, and I know that my future self lying on my deathbed, would be disappointed that I didn't take that leap of faith. I didn't do that thing, whatever it may be. Whether you're wanting to start a new business, you wanting to step away from your 9 to 5, you're wanting more from your life, not only for yourself, but for your loved ones as well. And when you think from your deathbed, again, like a key word here is permission. It gives you the permission to do the things that you want to do, but maybe you're a bit too scared to do. And I think permission is something that we all look for. And going back to my first mental kind of mindset shift, which is taking full responsibility, there is nobody that needs to give you permission apart from yourself. When you take full responsibility, you give yourself that permission at any given time, time of day, whenever, wherever, you have the permission to do whatever you want. And when you think from your deathbed, then you kind of, you really allow yourself that permission. So we've covered 4 things, but what I want to do is kind of wrap them all up into something that is a little bit more maybe helpful and something tangible that you can take away. And I wish I could show you this, but I don't have a physical copy of it. I have it on my laptop. And it is everything that we have really talked about: full responsibility, designing your life, understanding your why, and then thinking from your deathbed. And I write things down, and then every day I kind of read out a few things. They're not like affirmations, but it's just, I've written down what my dream life looks like. And every day I read it, and I think to myself, am I heading towards that dream life, or am I heading away from it? I say to myself, you should always be thinking from your deathbed. Am I making decisions that are easy today, but they're not going to, help me long term? Or am I, should I be making these difficult decisions today because I know that if I didn't make them on my deathbed, I would regret it? So writing all of this down in your own kind of mini manifesto is going to allow you to, it's great watching this video, but if you click onto the next video in a second, within an hour, you're going to have forgotten those 4 points. You need to write them down and be able to actually look at them on a daily basis. Remember, look at what your dream life is. Understand your why. Write down why you want to change. Understand that you should be thinking from your deathbed, and you want to kind of drill this into your mind every single day. And that's what I do. And it's allowed me to, go from working a 9 to 5 to then working for myself, which was great. And then I realized that, yes, I'm working for myself and it's great, but I'm spending too long at work. I'm doing too many hours, to then building a team, growing the business, realizing that I don't live where I want to live. So moving to Dubai and just kind of starting to build my life. And all of this was only possible when I implemented these 4 things. So I strongly recommend that you do the same, and you have some sort of system that reminds you on a daily basis of, the fact that you should take full responsibility, of the fact that you should design your own life, that you should understand your why, and that you should think from your deathbed. So have that as a constant reminder. So I hope this video has helped. If you want to find out a little bit more about how you can start to make money online, because that's generally the first thing most people want, then there'll be a couple of videos that pop up around me now, or at the end of this video. If you want to see how we can help you start your own online business, then you can check that out in the first link in the description. Hope you have an awesome day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.